Hello, and welcome back to Pixie's Projects. Today we're on day 5 of our Halloween countdown, and I just want to give you a fair warning that we are in the midst of some terrible winds, so strap in. It's going to be a bumpy ride unless emotional support / tech support can take all of this out of the video. We'll see. I just want to say welcome back, and if you're new, thank you for subscribing, and I'm glad you've joined us. We're working on this snail today, and I have to admit right off the bat that this is not my favorite image that I've done. Attempts were made. We got what we got. We right now are just coloring the bottom parts of him brown, adding in a little bit of a Tuscan red to it to deepen it up a little bit. But yeah, it's not one of my favorite ones on the page. Not everything can be the best, so I'm living with it. Anyway, so here we go. We've got that all covered in, and now we're going to do the rest of the snail's body, I guess is what it is. The worm part of the snail, that's what we're working on today. No, we're going to do leaves. So that tells us a lot right there. I already decided I wasn't liking what I was doing with the snail, so I'm taking time to think about it by coloring the easy bits. And as you can see, since we're on day 5, we've finished, what does that mean? I think 7 days, right? Yeah, probably 7 days. No, 13 minus 5 is 8. So maybe we finished 8 days. I'm not sure. Anyway, I've learned to only color 2 colors to a leaf instead of 3. So making less work for you. And now we're coming in on the snail. We're using a very dark brown. And I'm going to let that go ahead and just ask how everybody's doing today. I don't have a Halloween question today because I've run out of things to ask about with Halloween. I've asked about the background yesterday. So basically just what's everybody up to? You know, what are you working on your own time? Because I've still got one buddy color I need to finish before the end of the month. And we're already at the 25th or I think we're the 26th today, actually. Yeah, I'm not getting very far on that one. It's a Clara Markova page in Fairy Celebrations, and it's very detailed, and I made the choice to use my polychromos pencils, which means layers upon layers upon layers, and I haven't really gotten very far on getting it accomplished, so I have to work on that after I do this video tonight, and hopefully I'll get a good bit of it done before, the holidays are over. Because I don't want to post it in, November. That would be just too much. And now we are going in with what appears to be blue. I'm not entirely sure what's going on here, and I colored it, so this is interesting. Oh, I think I was trying to get like a better blend of colors underneath. That's what's going on. Okay. When I work with a limited set, I'll try to blend up a couple different colors. And as you can see, the brown and the blue is turning into a purple that we haven't used yet. So yeah, that must be the plan here. And we're using the same 2 colors we used on his body to do the antenna. Okay, so here's where we get to the part where I decided to try and make it spooky. Like I said, not my favorite one, but we did try. So we're coloring everything with a fluorescent green. Well, we're leaving the snail shell plain, but all the flowers, all the leaves, every last bit of it, I'm doing the fluorescent green. And you'll see why in a minute. And like I said, it didn't do what I wanted it to do, but I'm definitely going to do this again in another book because I really like the idea of this. And I wasn't sure what was going to show, so anything that isn't an actual leaf or a flower, I'm just adding a little bit of black to it to get it out of the way. Because I really wasn't sure how much of this was going to show. As it turns out, there was no need for this step. So if you're following along, don't even bother coloring with a black pencil here. And you're watching this in real time. The struggle is real. I could not find the holes, but there were a few. And now I'm going back over it with a fluorescent green pencil because I've decided that I wanted to get that nice and bright. And the hesitancy is just because I was afraid I was going to color the wrong bits. And then this is our next shade of green in the Prismacolor set. And we're just adding a little bit of the darker green to each petal and leaf and the centers of the flowers, but not going entirely up the entire, we're not going entirely up the image, just a little bit of each. Because I didn't feel like the fluorescent green was quite bright enough. And as I had said a little bit ago, I'm definitely doing this again, but I want to get a much larger image to work on because I think it would be really interesting to see how it looked if I had more space to play in. As it is, this thing is so tiny. If you're coloring along, these images are about an inch, maybe an inch and a half tall, so there's not much room at all to do a lot of stuff to them. In the comments, let me know if you are planning on posting some of your Halloween pictures in November, or if you don't get them up before November, you're just going to let them go until next year, or are you going to finish them for this year? Because I am really afraid I've got one that's going to show up, like November 4th, because I finally got around to finishing it. It's just a lot for me. It's, like I said, Fairy Celebrations, and it's Baba Yaga's house, and there's a bat, there's berries, there's pumpkins. The pumpkins alone took me 2 hours to color all by myself. I'm terribly slow when I color, unless I have a very firm idea of what I'm doing. And even then, it's still like the process itself is very slow. So when I work in the Clara Markova books, because to me, they're very expensive. So I hold them very dear because I can't replace it if I mess up or I feel like I want a second copy. That's not an option. So it's painstaking. I sit and deliberate over every color over and over again before I even put it down on the paper. It's a lot. Yes, I don't know. If you have pages like that, let me know what artists do that to you. Do you have a lot of trouble finishing pages by certain people? And is it based on finances, or is it based on that their work is so complicated or detailed that you can't? So as you can see, I tried to use my Jelly Roll pen, which I use when I use markers because you can glide right over. It doesn't work with pencils. They're too waxy. So I got an acrylic paint pen out. And we're changing the shape of each petal, each leaf to make them circular in nature. I thought it would look like, I'm trying to think of the word, slime. It would look like a bubbling cauldron almost, but like slimy. It's too small. I can't see it really well. So I'm not terribly enthralled. But if I think it was done on a bigger picture, you could really make a difference with it and it would look interesting. And we're about done this part. But as you can see, it does take quite a while to fill in each of those areas with a circle. Okay, and all we have left now is the shell. And we're just going in with the neon green again and filling in little parts of it and adding a glow around the bubbly bit of it. And if you're doing this with the scholars, I pressed very hard here because I was having trouble getting a good bit of color out of that pencil. Well, let me know in the comments if this happens to you. I tend to get bogged down when I use a set of pencils. That's all I have is what I have out. Even though I have, all the sets I own, including a Prismacolor set that has better neons in it, I just forget that they exist and I go with the ones I had. This is not fluorescent yellow. It's the yellowy green one. I think it's fluorescent lime or something like that. And this one is giving me a much better glow. And if you can tell, I'm not pushing near as hard with this one. And now we're just outlining the rest of it with the white all around the shell and those little dots. And we're coming to the end of day 5. So I'm going to see you tomorrow for day 4. I hope you enjoyed the video and thanks for watching. Bye.